Hi guys, JT here, and here's my top 10 FPS games released in 2021 and 2022 that you should consider in the 2022 Steam Winter Sale. So let's get into this. At number 10 we have Chivalry 2, a multiplayer hack and slash action game. The bloodthirsty Mason rebels have successfully conquered the lands. The heirs of Agatha have reformed and now plans to retake their land. Seeing an opportunity in the chaos of Tunisia, the continent's longtime enemy has also invaded. Chivalry 2 features massive large-scale battles, putting you in the middle of 64-player battles. There are 4 classes to choose from: Footman, the Vanguard, the Knight, and the Archer, each with their own weapons, abilities, perks, and further subclasses. There are plenty of modes on offer to keep you engaged. The fighting mechanic will see you swinging your weapons around, clashing steel with other players, blocking their attacks, and also riposte. This game doesn't take itself too seriously and it feels more arcadey than the likes of POSTAL. Battles can get quite chaotic, so if you like a less serious sword fighting multiplayer game where you just jump in, slice a few arms off and leave, then this is a game for you. At number 9 we have POSTAL, Brain Damaged, a semi-retro style first-person shooter game. The plot is quite simple. The postal dude has brain damaged and you fight the disturbing things that are in his mind. This game harks back to classic FPS games like Doom and Quake, but instead of going full-on pixelated graphics, it goes for the more early PlayStation 2 graphics. This game features 3 episodes with 5 levels per episode, and each level has been designed meticulously with plenty of secrets to find and a ton of enemies to kill. You'll have access to 10 weapons that are all very unique to this game, like a gun that shoots urine, a shotgun that can also act as a grappling gun, or even a shovel that is also a chainsaw, among others. Most importantly, they're all really meaty and very fun to use to turn your enemies into a pile of red jello. Enemies in this game are varied too, and a lot of them either pay tribute to old Doom games with a funny spin, or even meme characters from our world like Karens. In fact, there's a Karen that serves as a boss fight. Gunplay is really fast and it can get quite challenging, especially on higher difficulties. So if you like a retro fast-paced shooter, then this is a game for you. At number 8 we have Ghostwire Tokyo, a unique first-person action horror game that makes you feel like a combination of the Ghostbusters and Doctor Strange. You play as Akito, a human brought back to life by a spirit named KK after merging with your body. The bond gave you supernatural powers. It turns out that all of Tokyo has been engulfed in the fog, and evil spirits now roam the streets instead of humans. You, together with KK, must put a stop to this. You will be exploring an open-world Tokyo, fighting ghosts and collecting souls. Exploring Tokyo on foot is fascinating and it is beautiful to look at. Combat will make you feel like Doctor Strange as you watch your character use various hand gestures to shoot magical abilities at your enemies to destroy them. Furthermore, you can throw talismans at your enemies to disrupt them. There are varied enemies for you to fight that will present a challenge and keep the game somewhat fresh. The downside is that the side characters aren't given enough time to develop and the villain is unfortunately quite forgettable. Side missions also lack depth and can feel like padding. But if you want to feel like Doctor Strange and the Ghostbusters, definitely play Ghostwire Tokyo. At number 7 we have Cruelty Squad, a game that is akin to Wolfenstein and Hitman blended in a mess of 1990s ads on the internet. But it is an awesome mess. The world is ruled under a dystopian corporate government. You play as an unnamed protagonist hired to kill for the Cruelty Squad, a depraved subsidiary company tasked with deleting those whom have wronged the conglomerate. The basics of the game is similar to Hitman. You pick out some guns and tools, explore a massive level, avoiding or killing guards, finding the most efficient routes and vantages for a quick and clean kill. For your success, you'll be rewarded with cash for body mods like body armor or better legs to jump higher. Any guns that you find in each level that you finish with are added to your arsenal and now you can take them into missions. This allows you to replay levels with a new set of toys. There's a ton of other things you can do in this game, like you can harvest body parts or catch fish to be sold in a stock market, find plenty of secrets scattered throughout its bizarre maps, and over 20 weapons to collect and use. If you like a unique FPS that looks like it's on speed, then look no further than Cruelty Squad. It may not look like much, but it's an experience worth taking. At number 6 we have Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2, a tactical sniper-focused FPS. You play as Raven, an assassin hired to take out a group of people in the Middle East who look to destabilize the global economy. You'll be dropped onto a map with several locations and multiple objectives. You're to scope out each area, find various targets and objectives, plan your route towards them, and execute with silent precision. Objectives include assassinations, rescue missions, sabotaging equipment, among others. You can approach each objective in any order. When you're spotted, enemies will converge on your location, but thankfully, close range combat is just as fun as long range. Enemy AI can be a bit inconsistent, like sometimes they'll notice you from afar, while other times they won't even notice when their friend has just had their brains blown off. You can customize your loadout with different snipers that you can buy, various attachments, sidearms, and gadgets like frag grenades, drones, turrets, among others. Even though each mission can be completed without the fancy gadgets, it does give you the freedom to choose how you want to play. This game will demand your patience and critical thinking to kill your next target. And number 5 we have Golden Light, a very weird FPS horror game. You play an alcoholic writer and you have a girlfriend aptly named She, and she has been kidnapped by a hand that came out of the ground. Now you must jump into this hole in the ground called the gut to collect pieces of her meat and save her. Yeah, this game is weird, but it does sound like the plot of Resident Evil Village. When you're in the hole, you must abide by the most important rule. Nothing makes sense. Items around you can be a monster, traps are littered around the floor without clear indications that they are traps, and even the consumables are out for experimentation. You won't know what items that you pick up will do until you use them. This confusion is also what makes this game so interesting to play through, because you're always guessing as to what is coming next. Will a computer screen suddenly turn into a grotesque monster and start chasing you? Or is it just another computer screen? The goal is less confusing though, as the core gameplay is straightforward in each level. Explore each floor of the gut, locate keys, and unlock the next floor with said keys until you recover She's missing body parts. This game will have you second guessing yourself throughout your time with it, and with the lack of information to chew on, it creates a very unsettling, yet intriguing experience. And number 4 we have In Sound Mind, a psychological horror mystery game. You awaken in an apartment. You don't know how you got there nor who you are. You soon discover that you're a therapist, and to move on through the game, you have to listen to therapy sessions that you have had with your patients. However, upon playing these tapes, you are transported to twisted worlds that are representations of the psyche of your patients, and you have to find a way to escape. You aren't alone in this world either, as you are constantly hunted by monsters and also bosses of each world, akin to the stalkers from the Resident Evil series. The way you handle each stalker will be different, like flashing a mirror at a stalker who can't stand looking at his own face will thwart attacks from it. There are guns in this game, but the shooting isn't the smoothest, and you're meant to be sneaky, ambushing enemies and taking them out, instead of going guns blazing. I would highly recommend this game if you're into a good horror game with an interesting setting and an even more interesting world. And number 3 we have Severed Steel, a fast and frantic FPS. You play as Steel, and you have awakened under mysterious circumstances. Your arm is missing, so you decide to go all Barrett style from Final Fantasy VII, crafting a weapon to replace your missing arm. You'll be playing through various levels, which will involve a ton of stylish maneuvering, shooting, and blowing things to bits. The story is not at all deep, but the comic book art style does give it its own personality. Level designs of the 42 different levels are great, and they allow you to approach each situation in different ways, fast or slow. You can choose to run and gun, slide cinematically and slowing down time, wall jumping, diving through glass, sliding down stairways, among others. You can even grab weapons from corpses to shoot another person with to keep the combat flowing smoothly, or you can just go slow and take your time. You can unlock mutators for the firefight mode that features a leaderboard. Some of these mutators include low gravity, big heads, paintball modes, among others. There is even a level editor if you're on PC. If you like a stylish campaign and fun gameplay with some great soundtracks and sound effects, this is an awesome game to play. Also, if you missed the free game Christmas deal on the Epic Game Store a few days ago. And number 2 we have Paint the Town Red, a first-person melee combat game that has 2 game modes. One is the scenario mode, and the other the beneath mode. In scenarios, the goal is to be the first person who starts a fight and to be the last one standing. Basically, you spawn inside a bar, prison, pirate ship, among others, and then just punch some innocent bystander in the face. Soon, everyone starts fighting you and each other, and it can quickly turn into a bloodbath. This game features easy controls, so you can get started very quickly, and you can use most items as weapons. You can pick a knife out of a dead guy's head and stab someone else with it. Game modes also include modifiers like zero gravity, top-down view, or even a mod like Super Hot, where time only moves when you move. Chunks of body can be taken out of each person, so you can chop somebody's arms and legs off and watch their blood pour out of their bodies. Thus the name, Paint the Town Red. The Beneath mode is a separate roguelike mode that feels like a separate game, which has been covered in this video here. Basically, this game is a package of 2 fighting games, one casual and the other roguelike. And it is really fun beating people up and dismembering them literally limb by limb. And number 1 we have Resident Evil Village, the 8th installment in the main Resident Evil game series. You take on the role of Ethan Winters. After the incident at the baker's residence in Resident Evil 7, you try to settle down with your wife, Mia. In fact, you even have a daughter together named Rose. However, things quickly turn to custard as the protagonist from the first game, Chris Redfield, barges into your house, kills your wife, and kidnaps Rose. Tracking Rose down, you eventually get to a village filled with mysteries and horrors befitting medieval lore. Right off the bat, Resident Evil 8 isn't scary, and is more of an action game peppered with disturbing creatures. The story is quite interesting and the antagonists are very memorable, with the least memorable being the final boss of the game. You'll be shooting your way through various creatures and traveling to various parts of the village in search of your daughter. The gameplay is faster paced than Resident Evil 7 and is fun gunning down mutated residents and experiments gone wrong. You'll have access to a variety of weapons like handguns, SMGs, shotguns, sniper rifles and revolvers, and even grenades. So if you like a shooter that strikes a good balance between action and a good sense of adventure, definitely play Resident Evil Village. Do you agree with this list? What other games are you looking forward to in this winter sale? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.